Hello. Welcome back to day 3 of the 7-day Speak Your Truth Challenge on Mindway. Your ultimate English learning. Podcast and daily motivation hub for beginners who want to speak fluently, confidently, and authentically in American English. Today we dive deep into the heartbeat of influence. Rhythm, pause, and storytelling mastery. The exact tools that turn ordinary English speakers into magnetic communicators who command attention in any room, any conversation, any situation. Because speaking English isn't just about grammar rules or vocabulary lists. It's about making people feel your truth. Remember your words and act on your message. And by the end of this 2-hour masterclass, you'll walk away with a voice so powerful that even native speakers will stop, listen, and say, "Wow, where did you learn to speak like that?" This is not theory. This is practice. This is embodiment. This is the Mindway method that has already helped thousands of adult English learners across the USA break free from fear, hesitation, and self-doubt. So grab a glass of water, find a quiet space, stand tall. And let's begin because today, day 3. We build momentum that cannot be stopped. Influence is not about shouting louder. It's about speaking smarter, slower, deeper, with deliberate rhythm that pulls listeners in like a tide. With strategic pauses that make every word land like a drumbeat. With micro stories that stick in the mind long after the conversation ends. And right now, wherever you are, in your car, in your bedroom, on your lunch break in New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, or a small town in Texas, you are about to level up your English-speaking game forever. Let's start with the foundation that 99% of English learners ignore. Rhythm, the natural musicality of spoken. American English that makes your voice flow like a native, not robotic. Not memorized, but alive. Breathing, human. Say this sentence out loud right now in your normal voice. I want to speak English fluently. Now say it again, but this time, stretch the word want for 2 beats. Pause for half a second. Then let's speak English fluently roll out smoothly. I want to speak English fluently. Feel the difference. The first version was flat, functional, forgettable. The second version had rhythm. It had weight. It had presence. That's the power of vocal rhythm, and today, you're going to master 3 core rhythm patterns that every confident American English speaker uses unconsciously. But you're going to use them deliberately, with intention, with control. Pattern 1 is the slow and heavy rhythm, used for authority, wisdom, and emotional depth. Imagine you're giving advice to a younger version of yourself who's scared to speak. English in public, say this slowly. With weight on every word, you don't need perfect grammar to be understood. Let each word breathe. Let the silence between words do the heavy lifting. This rhythm says, I've been there. I know. Trust me. Pattern 2 is the medium flow rhythm, perfect for teaching, explaining, and building rapport. This is the rhythm of daily American conversation. Not too slow, not too fast, just right. Say this with natural flow every day. You practice one sentence, one story, one truth, and slowly you become fluent. Notice how the words connect like a gentle wave, up and down, in and out. This is how friends talk in coffee shops in Seattle. How colleagues brainstorm in offices in Miami. How families connect at dinner tables in Ohio. Pattern 3 is the fast and urgent rhythm used for excitement, calls to action, and motivation. This is the rhythm that wakes people up. Say this with energy, with fire. Don't wait another day. Don't let fear win. Speak your truth now. Record it, share it, own it. Feel your heart rate rise. That's urgency. That's momentum. That's influence. Now, let's drill this. Take one simple English sentence. I am learning English every day. Say it in all 3 rhythms. First, slow and heavy. I am learning English every day. Second, medium flow. I am learning English every day, and it's changing my life. Third, fast and urgent. I'm learning English every day. Faster, stronger, louder. Let's go. Record yourself on your phone. Listen back. Which version made you feel powerful? Which version would make a stranger stop scrolling on YouTube and click play? That's the one you use. Because rhythm isn't random. It's a choice. And today, you choose power now. Let's layer in the most underrated tool in English speaking. The pause silence is not empty. Silence is strategy. Silence is where the listener's brain catches up, processes, feels, and commits. Most English learners fill every gap with But confident speakers use silence like a painter uses white space, deliberately, beautifully, powerfully. There are 4 types of pauses you must master today. The micropause, half a second. Used to emphasize a single word. Say this. I believe in. You, that tiny pause after I makes the listener lean in. The dramatic pause, 2 to 3 seconds. Used to build tension before a revelation. Say this. I was terrified to speak English in public. Pause, 3 seconds. Until I tried, feel the tension. That's drama. That's storytelling. The reflection pause, 4 to 5 seconds. Used after a powerful statement to let it sink in. Say this. Your voice matters. Pause 5 seconds. More than you know. Let the silence do the work. Let the listener nod. Let them feel it in their chest. And the transition pause, 1 to 2 seconds. Used to shift topics smoothly. Say this. We've mastered rhythm. Pause 2 seconds. Now, let's talk about stories. Smooth, clean, professional. Now, let's practice all 4 in one flow. Speak this paragraph aloud. English learning is hard. Micropause, but worth it. Dramatic pause 3 sec, 1 day. You'll look back. Reflection pause 5 sec and thank yourself. Transition pause to sec, so let's begin with a story. Record it, listen, refine. This is how you keep a 2-hour video engaging from start to finish. No boredom, no drop-off, just pure momentum. Now, we arrive at the crown jewel of day 3. Storytelling, because facts tell, but stories sell, stories heal. Stories transform. The human brain is wired for narrative. Stanford research shows we remember 22 times. More from a story than from a list of facts. So if you want your English to stick, if you want your truth to be unforgettable, you must become a storyteller. And today, you'll master the 3-line micro-story formula that fits perfectly into any conversation, any podcast, any YouTube video. Line 1 is the setup. Who, where, feeling. Keep it simple, sensory, emotional. I stood outside the coffee shop in downtown Chicago, nervous, holding my phone. Line 2 is the tension, the conflict, the fear. The obstacle my boss called, said, present in English, now, and my mind went blank. Line 3 is the resolution. The action, the breakthrough. The feeling, I took a breath. Spoke one true sentence. And suddenly, I was free. That's it. 3 lines. 30 seconds. Lifetime impact. Now, you create yours. Use this template. I was placed situation, feeling emotion. Then, problem happened. But I action. And result, example. I was in a Zoom meeting with American clients, feeling small. Then they asked me a question in fast English. But I paused, smiled, and said, "Let me share my idea," and they listened. Speak your 3-line story aloud. 3 times, first, with no rhythm. Second, with medium flow rhythm. Third, with rhythm plus all 4 pauses. Record it. This is your day 3 artifact. This is proof you're growing. Now, let's scale it. Because influence isn't just one story, it's a chain of stories. An emotional arc that guides the listener from curiosity to empathy, to clarity to action. This is the 4-step emotional flow every great English speaker uses. Step 1. Curiosity. Spark interest with a question. Have you ever frozen when someone asked you a question in English? Step 2. Empathy. Connect with shared pain. I have heart racing, words stuck, feeling like a child. Step 3. Clarity. Deliver the insight. But I learned one pause, one breath. One true sentence changes everything. Step 4. Action. Give the challenge. So today, record your 3-line story and share it in the comments. Speak this 4-step flow aloud. Slowly, with rhythm, with pauses, with heart. Now create your own. Have you ever common struggle? I know because your experience. Here's what works your insight. So do this now, your challenge. This is how you keep listeners hooked for 2 hours. This is how your English learning channel grows. This is how Mindway becomes the #1 English motivation podcast in the USA. Now, let's go deeper into contrast. Because monotony kills attention, but contrast keeps it alive. Contrast in volume, soft to loud, contrast in pace, slow to fast, contrast in emotion. Fear to triumph. Say this sentence 3 ways. First, soft and reflective. I was afraid to speak. Second, medium and honest. I was afraid to speak, but I did it anyway. Third, loud and proud. I was afraid to speak, but I did it anyway. Feel the energy shift. That's contrast. Now apply it to your 3-line story. Tell it soft, then medium, then powerful. Record all 3 versions. This is vocal versatility. This is what separates beginners from masters. Now, let's talk about resonance. The deep, rich, chest-level sound that makes your English voice sound confident, authoritative, warm. Most learners speak from the throat or nose. Thin, weak, forgettable, but influential speakers speak from the diaphragm, from the chest, from the core. Place your hand on your chest. Say hello from your throat, high and tight. Now say hello from your chest. Deep and full, feel the vibration. That's resonance. Now say your 3-line story from your chest. Let the sound fill the room. Let it vibrate in your rib cage. This is how you sound like a leader. This is how you sound American, confident, grounded, real. Now, let's integrate vulnerability. Because perfect English is boring, but real English is magnetic. Share a flaw, a fear, a failure. Say this. I still make grammar mistakes, and that's okay. Because my truth is bigger than my errors. Say it with a smile, with warmth, with humanity. Vulnerability builds trust. Trust builds influence. Now add it to your story. I stood outside the coffee shop, nervous. Still mixing up was and were. Then my boss called. But I spoke anyway, imperfectly. And they understood. That's real. That's relatable. That's Mindway. Now, let's layer in sensory detail. Because stories without senses are flat, but stories with sight, sound, touch, smell, taste are alive. Upgrade your story. I stood outside the busy Chicago coffee shop. The smell of fresh espresso in the air. My cold hands shaking around my warm phone. Heart pounding like a drum. Speak it slowly. Let the listener see it. Smell it. Feel it. This is immersion. This is connection. Now, let's talk about repetition with variation. Because repetition reinforces memory. But boring repetition loses attention. Say your key message 3 times, each with different rhythm. Emotion or pause. your story matters. Slow, your story matters. Warm, your story matters. Urgent, now do it with your truth. I am learning English. Calm, I am learning English. Proud I am learning English. Fire. This is how you drill truth into the mind. Now, let's master strategic questioning. Because questions engage the listener, make them think. Make them part of the journey. Ask this. What would happen if you spoke your truth today? Right now, without waiting for perfect English. Pause 5 seconds. Let them answer in their head, then answer for them. UD feel free, UD grow. You'd inspire someone else. Now create your own question and answer flow. Speak it aloud. This is conversation. This is engagement. This is retention. Now, let's talk about clarity. Because influence without clarity is confusion. Every word must count. No filler, no fluff. Say one sentence at a time. Today, I speak my truth. Slow, deliberate, crystal clear. Now say your 3-line story in the clearest English possible. No complex words, no hesitation. Just truth. Now, let's integrate narrative tension. Every great story has a beginning, middle, end. Setup, conflict, resolution. Expand your micro-story into a 30-second arc. I used to hide in meetings. Silent, scared. Then one day, my manager said, "Share your idea." I froze. But I remembered day 1 breathing. Day 2 emotion. Day 3 rhythm. I paused, I spoke, and the room went quiet. Not from judgment, but from respect. Speak it with full emotional arc. This is cinema in voice now. Let's talk about timing, because influence is not just what you say, but when you say it after a powerful statement. Pause, let it land. Your voice is your power. Pause for sec. Use it after a question. Pause, let them think. What's stopping you? Pause 5 sec. Nothing, timing is everything. Now, let's talk about visualization. Before you speak, see the audience nodding. Smiling, leaning in, speak to that image. Let it fuel your confidence. Now, let's talk about mirroring. Subtly match the listener's energy. If they're calm, be calm. If they're excited, match it. This builds unconscious rapport now. Let's talk about emotional anchoring. Pair key words with consistent feelings. Every time you say truth, take a deep breath. Stand taller every time you say fear. Soften your voice. This programs your brain and the listeners. Now, let's talk about vocal variety. Rise for questions, fall for statements. Mid-tone for emphasis. Speak a full paragraph with dynamic intonation. Now, let's talk about intention. Before every sentence, know your purpose. To inspire, to teach, to connect, to challenge. State it silently, then speak Now, let's integrate everything into a 5-minute practice script. Begin with breath, 4 to 6, 3 times, then posture. Grounded stance, open heart, still face. Then say your intention. I am here to help beginners speak English with confidence. Then speak your 3-line story with rhythm. Pauses, emotion, resonance. Then ask a question. Pause, answer it. Then repeat your key message with variation. Then close with a call to action. Record this now. Post in comments, tag a friend. Let's grow together. Speak the full 5 minutes aloud. Record it. This is your Day 3 final exam. Now, let's structure your 2-hour practice loop. First 15 minutes. Breathing and posture warm-up. Next 15 minutes. Rhythm drills, slow, medium, fast. Next 20 minutes. Pause practice, all 4 types. Next 30 minutes. 3-line story creation and delivery. 3 versions. Next 20 minutes. Emotional flow arc, curiosity to action. Next 15 minutes. Contrast and resonance training. Next 15 minutes. Vulnerability and sensory detail layering. Next 10 minutes. Repetition with variation. Next 10 minutes. Strategic questioning. Next 10 minutes. Clarity and intention. Check. Final 10 minutes. Full 5-minute script recording and playback. Total 2 hours. Do this daily. This is how fluency is built. This is how influence is earned. Now, your Day 3 challenge. Record your full 5-minute script. Post the 3-line story in the comments with #MindWayDay3. Reply to one other learner's story. Build community. Tag a friend who needs this. Tomorrow, Day 4, we go deeper into vulnerability, authenticity, and raw emotional truth. The kind that breaks barriers and builds unbreakable confidence. Subscribe now. Turn on notifications. Because your English learning journey is just beginning. This is Mindway. This is your voice. This is your truth. Speak it, live it, own it. See you tomorrow.